Hey, all my life insurance clients out there. Thanks so much for joining in with me this February to talk about life insurance as love insurance. It's one of my favorite themes, but this topic is one that comes up quite a bit. Especially when it comes to term life insurance. So, as you can imagine, term life insurance is extremely popular mostly because of the affordability of term life insurance. So, especially if you're fairly young, you just bought a house, you have a young family, maybe you just got married, something of that nature, you're probably seeing a lot of advertisements geared towards you because you are a really good candidate for term life insurance. The number one thing that I want you guys to be aware of is that there is something called convertibility where life insurance is concerned. So, what does that mean? So, that means that when you get to the end of your term, that policy can automatically be converted to a whole life policy without having to go back through medical underwriting. So, I'll give you an example. Let's say you get a policy and it's for a certain face amount and it is a 20-year term. So if I purchase that insurance today, let's see, it's February 2025. The term will end in February of 2045. So that's 20 years from now. If that policy is convertible, what that means is that you can automatically convert it to a whole life policy and not have to go back through medical underwriting like you had to go through when you initially got this policy. So you might be saying, well, Amy, I'm not worried about what's happening in 20 years. Why is that really all that important? Oh, by the way, I just went through this whole process. Why are we discussing this so far in the future? So you'll be surprised how quick 20 years can go by. And obviously your needs are going to probably be different in 20 years from now. But in my experience, your medical history will be different at 20 years from now. I tell all my clients that are turning 40, be prepared because what your health looks like at 45 and 50 is probably not what it looks like today. If you are that client that is still in the same sort of level of health as you are at 35 and 40, you're lucky. So, and you're blessed, and you're doing something right as far as your health is concerned. So, just give yourself some kudos on that. But again, life kind of happens. So, in that time, you might have had to have a few surgeries. Maybe you're taking new medicines for high blood pressure or diabetes or cholesterol or something of that nature. The convertibility aspect of it is so important, in my opinion, because you don't know if you can get other insurance in 20 years. So the convertibility aspect really kind of protects you from needing more insurance down the road, which is often the case, or not being able to get the insurance 20 years down from the road because the policy was not convertible at that point. So the next question that generally comes up with clients is, how do I know whether or not the policy is convertible? So if you're working with a good agent, they're going to have this discussion with you and they're going to explain the differences because there are going to be differences in premium. I can tell you this, if you purchased your policy online through like an online portal, more than likely your policy is not convertible. So usually when I'm doing a policy review with a new client that maybe purchased it through some other channel, and I was not involved initially with the application. Usually those policies that a person would go online and purchase are not going to be convertible down the road. So that doesn't mean that you can't apply for another policy. That doesn't mean you can't replace it. There's a lot, you're not stuck. It's just more than likely it isn't. So these are just some things to keep in mind. A lot of clients are not aware of the convertibility aspect of term life insurance, and in my experience, it's very important, and it's always something that I have a conversation with my clients about, just because we really just don't know what's going to happen down the road. So it's sort of another layer of protection beyond just the basic term life insurance that you've purchased. So I know there's a lot that goes into it. You know, you have to figure out underwriting, you have to figure out the dollar amount that you need, you have to figure out whether or not you can afford the premiums. All of those things are incredibly important. But in addition, the number one question you need to be asking is about the convertibility on this particular product, because I think it's extremely important. So, as always, reach out. If you have any questions, you can schedule a call on my Calendly link, and look forward to some additional videos this spring on some other products that are exciting to lots of different clients. All right, take care, guys. Bye bye. Thanks for joining me.